So just a little bit about Brother Ammar Al Shukry. He began his study of the Arabic language at an early age and has been working to translate works of classical and contemporary Arabic poets. So not only is he really skillful in English, but he is a linguist in the Arabic language as well. So a lot of his stuff is on YouTube. I'm sure you've heard of him. I don't have to give him an extensive bio. Please welcome Ammar Al Shukry.
Great job. Assalamu alaikum. How are you guys doing? First of all, I'm going to need a round of applause for this beautiful MSA. It is very rare that I come and I see an MSA with standing room only. Okay, so I'm going to begin, inshallah, and this is my first time. Testing. Can you hear me? Okay, so this is my first time coming to the University of Illinois, or UIC, at Chicago. So I just want to begin with finding out where everybody's from. The entire day I've been here, I've been guessing where people are from. I shake someone's hand and I'm like, "You're from here," and they're like, "No, dude, I'm not." So tell me where you're from, inshallah. Feel free to just shout it out. Okay. I understand that you guys are most likely from Chicago. I'm talking about backgrounds, countries. Okay, calm down. First one I heard was Palestine. How many of you are here from Palestine? Okay, very good. How many people here are from Egypt? All right. Very cool. What else do we have? Pakistan. Welcome to Chicago. All right. What else? I heard Nigeria. All right. Is Hyderabad a country? Yes, it is. Turkey. How many people are here from Turkey? 2 people from Turkey. Come. Hello, Hassan. Welcome. What else do we have? Ethiopia. Okay. India. You guys are so confusing. You did Hyderabad, you did India. Jordan. How many people are here from Jordan? Nobody from Jordan. Who said Jordan? All right, what else? Okay, Syria. How many live in Syria? Afghanistan. Okay. Anything else? Are you saying Morocco? How many of you live from the U.S., United States? Like 25 people and everybody else is waiting on naturalization. Yada. What else do we have? Bangladesh! Woo! All right. I think that's everything. Guatemala! Wow. All right, I'm not going to be able to do this. All right, let me see what I can do. Sudan is my hometown. Oh, how do you show up? Sabah al-Khair. Sudan is my hometown. Jerusalem is my heart. I flash a serious smile. I've been Egyptian from the start. My kindness comes from Pakistan. My style, Senegalese. Yemen and Ethiopia. Join 2 continents at my knees. A Mauritanian mind with the alleged Arabian disposition. Bengali fashion, Turkish passion, Indonesian precision, wherever Allah is worshipped are my people. I conclude. English esteem, French cuisine, American attitude. I have history in Spanish soil, Nigerian sand, the future shining from Khorasan. My present is where I stand, my eyes peer from Kashmir towards a Malaysian rising sun. My body is indivisible. I'm an ummah of one. All right, let me introduce you to two things. For this section, no, I know people are confused, or like, should I clap or what? So when you're at there are two acts that are accepted as far as applause in a poetry show. The first one is what? Okay, I like to call that American style. American style is the finger snaps. Can we get around the finger snaps going? All right. The second is I like to call Egyptian style, where you just, no, not lulu. Egyptian style is Allah Allah. Just go Allah Allah. There you go. So that can come at any time. Okay? So I have one poem in my life that I've written about love. And it was because I was in New York and I was visited by one of my favorite shuyukh, Sheikh Yasir Birjas, and he came to teach us a class called Love Notes. And you have the cards in front of you on your table. And he came and he taught us that love is not something that's bad. Rather, there are scholars who wrote treatises on love. One of them was Ibn Hazm. He wrote a treatise called Tawq al-Hamam, the ring of the dove. And so we spent a weekend learning about the Prophet ﷺ and how passionately he loved Aisha, how passionately he loved Khadija, his wives, and how Allah Azza wa Jalla, the earth exists because of love. So this poem I call, it's a short poem, but it's about pretty much what I learned at that class. It goes, love is the reunion of a pair. In a new domain, though unaware of exactly when and precisely where you first saw those eyes, or glimpsed that stare. Love not disapproved by religion, a secret of Allah kept hidden, a beautiful ailment, a painful prison, with frenzied thoughts, obsessed vision. Love for which the creation exists. It begins deep within and manifests in a kiss. Those in its midst do taste bliss, and those who do miss live life remiss. Love, which part of it do you deny? The occupied mind, the tears you cry, the constricted chest, or the late night sigh? The fool is who? You or I? And that's it. Allah, Allah. Allah, Allah. Okay. One of the things that I love about art, and I'm so glad that you're giving art a platform, one of my favorite phrases is that art makes culture felt. There's so much that can be communicated through culture, and art is the vehicle for that. I'll never forget, I went to a university one time, and I met a bunch of students. Many of them were from the Arabian Peninsula. One of them had grown up in the city of Medina. Like his entire life. He grew up in Medina and he was coming to Florida to study there. And he was the shyest kid and the most well-mannered kid you could ever meet. You know the type of person who's so well-mannered that when you're in their presence, you become better? Like you become more refined in your manners because you don't want to look stupid in front of them. And so when he got comfortable with me, he said, Ammar, I have a question for you. And I was like, sure, what's your question? And he goes, there's a word that I don't know what it means. And I say, what is it? He goes, shibiti. What does that mean? And I say to him, there's no word called shibiti. Shibiti, there's no English word called shibiti. He's like, no, there is. I'm like, who are you telling? You're asking me. There's no word called shibiti. I'm like, sherbet, shepherd. There's no word called shibiti. And he's like, yes, there is. Yes, there is. And I say to him, okay, well, maybe it's your accent. Tell it to me in a sentence. And he goes, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, just say it. And then he leans close so that nobody else can hear, and he goes, go shorty, it's shibiti. And I'm like, oh my God. How did shibiti get all the way to you in Medina? I I wasn't expecting that, but it crystallized for me how important art is, right? That art travels all over the world. It goes places where your lectures won't go. It goes places where your academic conferences won't go. It goes places where your books won't go. So, in the past couple of months with regards to all of this controversy with regards to who Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is, I'm going to share two poems with you about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that I wrote. This one is simply called Who is Muhammad? When a man has 1.5 billion followers, his status in history isn't debated. But why is the greatest man then, when great men are rated, the one that you don't know? Don't play the video yet. Just in case, this is something else. When a man has 1.5 billion followers, his status in history isn't debated. Why is the greatest man then, when great men are rated, the one that you don't know? His name is the most popular in the world. His fame encompasses the globe. His message was to worship God alone. His method was mercy to friend and foe. Why is it then that you don't know? He was the orphan prophet and shepherd sent to revive hearts lifeless as deserts, ties of kinship that were severed. His forbearance could not be measured. And he is so loved. You would love him too, if you only knew. He was the father whose face lit up when his daughter entered the room, would stand and seat her where he was seated. He was the husband who sent an army ahead so he could foot race his wife and laugh charmingly when defeated. He was the prophet who told us that paradise lies at the feet of our mother and to love for ourselves what we would love for our brother. His companions were Persian and Roman, Jewish, Arab, and black. He told us we're all the same, for we all come from Adam. In fact, if there was any difference in us, it would simply be the one greater in the sight of God is the one with more piety. He is the most documented figure in history. His walk, his talk, his statements, his thoughts, how he loved and fought, what he was and was not, everything that he taught is there for you to read. He is the man who had the world at his feet and would go days without food to eat. He loved the poor and the meek. God was all that he would seek. Enrich your heart and find out about the best person that you don't know. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah. Okay. All right. So now, if you could turn off the lights, you get the lights for me. I was obsessed at one period of time. I wanted to write a letter to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and every time I would write the letter, it would end up being horrible, and I wasn't happy with it. And so then I would start again, and I would start again. And so one day, I remember I had read the hadith where Aisha radiallahu anha, she says that one time she caught the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a beautiful mood. So she was so smart, she asked to take advantage of it. She said, Ya Rasulullah, pray for me. So then he raised his hands and he said, Oh Allah, forgive all of Aisha's sins. Forgive her past sins, forgive her future sins, forgive her hidden sins, forgive her open sins. And Aisha, she loved the dua so much, she laughed, she giggled until her head fell onto the lap of the Prophet ﷺ. And then he said to her, Aisha, do you like that? And she said, how could I not be happy when you made such a beautiful dua for me? He said, by Allah, I make that dua for my ummah after every salah. Right? So the emotion of feeling and believing that you were loved 1400 years before you came into this earth. I wrote this poem, it's called Until I See You. It'll show up on the screen here. You're the best person I've ever known. The best friend I've never met. Your sincerity to me is blinding enough to completely canvas the world with drapes that read respect, honor, love, protect, while creating a window for me to zoom in on the important things, but those are the things that I forget or neglect. I will do better. Your ummah is fine. Not because of me or mine or wounds that heal with time, those who would die for a dollar sign, but because a promise is divine. So when we feel like we're at our worst end, our sadness would cause our hearts to burst. It feels like there are times when there are angels within our lives, or hovering over squares with chants of freedom in the air, and though tyrants may step on our necks, we smile. For history has always been on our side. Yours is an ummah that simply does not die. I'm sorry for my weakness. For every time I've been ashamed of your name and asked someone to call me Mo, for not knowing enough about you to defend you when they drew cartoons or made movies or put you on the cover of magazines or accused you with the most heinous of accusations, for not getting over my distaste of reading and waiting for Hollywood to put you on the big screen, so I can know something about you. As if Steven Spielberg or Mel Gibson or Johnny Depp would somehow be able to recreate the twinkle in your eye, or a beautiful bead of sweat as it scaffolds on your forehead, frantically fighting gravity, not wanting to fall off your body. I keep thinking of seeing you. And if you would smile at me, the thought gives me goosebumps. You told me to meet you at the pool. So on that day, I hope and pray that I will see you through the crowd, that no angels barricade me as I sprint at breakneck speed. I hope you recognize it's me. I will crowd the companions to get access to your vision. I will obey my thirst by quenching it from your hands. So until that day, I will pray. I will stand and I will pray as if my feet are holding the earth from splitting, if I make it. I cry at the thought of seeing you. For I know that the words that I used to read from books with all too pages will do no justice to your voice, your face, your touch, your scent. You see, my messenger of Allah has always existed between the curves and dots of the Arabic alphabet. So, Muhammad ibn Abdullah in 3D. And whatever other dimensions the hereafter brings with it will be an overboard of senses. I will fall in love with your shadow. I will tell Ali that his description did not do justice. Tell my mother Aisha of how we heard her story, of how you passed away between her chin and her chest, over and over and over again, and it made us cry every single time. Because we never suffered any disaster that was greater than what we suffered before our souls merged with flesh, entering an earth that was without you. Does the sky even recognize us anymore? And I will sit in the shade of your smile and will ask you your story directly from your mouth as we sip on salsabil ice cold, and will be terribly embarrassed if you ask me for mine, because I never did anything right other than love you. And then, if you let me, I would love for a hug. Lights on, please. I have one last poem, inshallah ta'ala, I'll share. And it's a continuation of that theme, and it's probably my favorite poem. This is simply called Jannah. It's a description of Jannah, which is paradise. So for this one, I'm going to need you to close your eyes. I know we're in Chicago, so if you want to hold on to your bag, go ahead. Feel free. So just close your eyes. You know, there's always people who just continue to stare at me. Like, the way eyes work is that I can see your eyes are open. Just close them, it's all good. Close your eyes and imagine this. Eternal bliss. Your every wish at your fingertips and more. Perched on a throne near a stream. So serene and exquisite a scene you've never seen, yet you still dream of more. Gone is pain. Gone is fear. Gone is grief. Gone are tears. Idle speech you shall never hear, and the prophets make up your social sphere and more. The martyrs righteous and the truthful too. You are from them, they from you. They held tightly to what they knew was true, and to join them you did too. There's more. Maidens chased to restrain their gaze, lost in a glance for days and days. Fun and frolic as a child plays, where the breath that leaves your lips is praise of the one who gave you more. Imagine you and your father with ages the same. Imagine showing off your book with no shame. Imagine nights with the Sahaba, their stories to entertain. Now imagine Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Imagine Muhammad knowing your name. What could be there more? gardens underneath which rivers flow. A goal so far, yet so close, a journey worth taking for those who know. Tell me, do you not wish to go for more? For all of the bounties, all of the grace, all of the sights and the smells and the tastes will be forgotten without a trace, as if frozen in time and space when you see his face. What an excellent master of a miserable slave. You forgot, he forgave. He gave you guidance and you still strayed. You asked for mercy. That he gave. And more. And more. And more. Jazakumullah khair, guys. Barakallahu feekum. I just want to thank everyone for the invitation to come and visit you guys. Barakallahu feekum, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.